Here's a garden update for today. This is August 24th at 5:53 in the morning. I've got a tape measure here, guys, because I want to show you guys. Just give me a minute. I'm handling this one-handed. These are the leaves, right, of the pumpkin plant. So right from start down here, about 13.5 inches long and like 13.5 inches wide. So those are huge leaves, guys. That's over a foot. Right, so I got some blooms on them. But the most interesting thing here is, if you can see that vine that's gone all the way around the box here, has gone over 12 feet. Right straight to this fence. It's now touching the fence, guys. So it's almost like it knew where the fence was. There's our pumpkin, right? So our pumpkin's starting to look more like a pumpkin. I have not seen any other crops. Tomato update. The tomatoes are doing fine. I haven't seen any redness. These are potato plants that I replanted, hoping I'd get a few more crops, but I don't think I'm going to, so I might as well just pull them. This is our grapes. Those are doing pretty good. I think they're going to take more than a few seasons to establish themselves. These are some kind of white tomatoes. I don't think I'm going to get anything from those guys, so you know, we don't have very many plants this year. Next year, I plan to, out back here, you guys can see where the tree lines are. It's only a few feet back, but if I expand this garden back there a little bit, I think we can get in at least 2 rows of corn, 2 rows of potatoes back there. So I do want to add on to this garden here. Compost looks okay. I'm going to be picking up compost in a few days. New additions. I've done a lot of work out in the garden here. You know, we've planted some very interesting stuff over here. I put in a little wheelbarrow path. You know, we've got our pink roses over here. These are some kind of a purple flower. Let me see if I can magnify on that so you guys can read it. They're Japanese. Looks like water lilies. Alright, so, and up here is like a white flower. These get incredibly tall, I'm told. And that's kind of like what I want. I want a little blockage in the garden. We've got our boxwoods here. Now these boxwoods are tiny. They took about 6 days from, well, 3 to 6 days for me to get them in mail. They do pack them in real plastic, which creates a hydroponics, keeps the moisture in while shipping. So they will come fresh if you order them on Amazon. I was pretty impressed with them. Our purple flowers are doing good. These ones will get up to 4 feet by, I think 4 feet by 4 feet tall. So we'll have to see about those. I positioned a whole broken clay pot. I'm thinking next year plant some marigolds in or around that, even though those are an annual plant I'd have to plant every year. It might be worth it. You know, add a little style to your garden by putting in a clay pot. And that's the update for today, guys. I'm sorry, this thing is not working. Good morning. Today is August 26, 2025 at approximately 7 o'clock in the morning. Now what I got here in front of me, guys, is dehydrated carrot peelings, potato peelings, and cucumber peelings. The cucumber is on top. I finally cut it up with a pair of scissors once it was dehydrated. And I have here eggshells. We're going to be crushing these eggshells up. And everything's going right here in this little mini blender I have. And the object of the game is to grind it up into powder and create a fertilizer. Alright, so the fertilizer should turn out to be like powder, and then we're going to stick them in these jars here. I also have lobster shells that we're going to be adding. Those lobster shells look like this. We did these up in a simple meat grinder that I put here on the edge of my table in my greenhouse. And as you guys can see, inside is the blades, and the blades will crush the shells up and push them out the end here. I got this meat grinder for free. I didn't pay anything. This is how easy it is to get one of these and to do your own fertilizer. Doesn't take much. You don't need much. Even a purveyor could do this job, and purveyors only cost maybe $14 to $17. These little mini blenders don't cost that much either. And you just need a little bucket like this to do the job in if you're using a purveyor. If you're using this, that's all you need. So let's go ahead and get this ground up. I wish I could show you guys the grinding process, but I can't hold the camera and operate at the same time. So stay tuned for the next clip. Alright, here's the results. We've got vegetable scrap powder, eggshell powder, lobster powder. Now, as you know, I've gotten a whole jar of lobster powder. And that's the equivalent of 4 lobsters, you know, deshelled. And then you take the shells, you put it through the old meat grinder over here. And then you're going to put it in this little blender, which is going to grind it into a fine powder. Some of this I might want to use a purrator on when I mix them. That's just so they can blend much better. But for the most part, you get a nice fine powder out of them. I mean, they ground it up pretty good. I mean, like I said, a purrator is going to be able to get those chunks that you're seeing right there. Right? So, the same with the eggshells. You'll notice there's still some chunks in the eggshells. That's why you need a purrator to puree them a little better. And I'd probably do that in a bucket like this. But for now, this is good for storing them until I'm ready to actually make the fertilizer. And you just basically blend a cup of each, really. Then you can take it out in the garden and use it. I also used a label machine, guys. How these label machines work is you turn them on. This one's by Dynamo. And I just typed in lobster shell powder and hit the print button. It comes out on the side here, and then you hit this little thing to cut it. And it's as easy as that. When you want to erase a word, just hit the back button. They still put these machines out. They're excellent for labeling your mason jars. I use this label machine on just about anything I want to label. It includes DVDs when I want to put property of who I am on it. Alright, so that concludes our little lesson on how to make homemade fertilizer. Otherwise, guys, as I said earlier, I simply use a tomato tone, normally. But a homemade fertilizer is sometimes just as good. I've got about 4 different fertilizers here, so that's just, you know, keep that in mind. I got bone meal, I got plant tone, I got rose tone, and sooner or later I'm going to get garden tone. It's just a matter of time. But I'll catch you guys next time. Alright, this is the next clip. for making your own fertilizer. This looks like cut up pieces of leaves, and it is. But it's also being soaked in water right now. And you might not be able to see that water, but now you can. Alright, so you see that water right there. That's going to soak in there for about 2 weeks. And we'll come back in 2 weeks and drain it. And we should have a really nice weed tea. Because as these plants break down, they'll release their nutrients into the water. It might be just as good as Miracle-Gro plant fertilizer that you buy at the store for a ridiculous price. You can make your own weed tea right at home in buckets. So keep that in mind.